How was your reading week?
It's not too bad. All right.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Oscars?
Yeah, last time we talked about how nobody watched
the Grammys.
The Grammys, yeah, I think so.
Anyone?
I watched that
watch
70s show.
Oh, the 70s show? Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
All 8 seasons.
Oh, no, I never got into Netflix or Friends until it was on
Netflix?
I always watch
Is it in Netflix now?
Yeah, that's also on Netflix.
Yeah. I saw Netflix when my parents bought a bunch of the DVDs back when DVDs were the thing.
Back when people.
What's up, everybody? My name's Felix. Thanks for tuning in at the BASA SHOUTcast episode 2. I am one of your hosts, Felix Mintu in the ones and twos, and with me today is my co-host Karpish.
His right-hand man, Karpish. How's it going, Felix?
Pretty good, pretty good. And with us today is
a special guest.
A special guest, that's for sure. One of my close friends in the faculty. He's also the VP of Finance on the side when he's not being my friend, Mr. David Johnston.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. It's our honor to have you here.
A pleasure, as always.
Yeah,
always a good time.
If this is your first time tuning in to the BASA SHOUTcast, the goal of this video podcast is to introduce you to the personalities inside the business faculty, have you know who they are, what they do, what they do when they're not inside the dealer center. And for the first few weeks, we're going to introduce you to the outgoing executives of BASA. So if you're planning on being a member of BASA, this is a good way to see if you kind of have the same vibe as the outgoing BASA.
Exactly. This episode is mostly going to focus on the finances of BASA, really, what a senior executive in finance does, as well as director of finance is a very popular position. Last year, I think there was 8 or 10 people who went for it. You only get a couple, right?
Right.
So, it's definitely a competitive position. Before we get into that, though, we should probably do a little introduction of who David is. So, explain your, academic career. Let's start with that.
Let's just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, start with yourself. Who is David Johnston?
Well, my name's David. I grew up on a farm in Arborg, Manitoba, which is about an hour north of the city. Decided to come to the University of Winnipeg because I really like the small community feel. I'm in my 4th year of university right now. Decided to go with an accounting concentration. Obvious reasons, being VP F of BASA. I've really liked my time at the University of Winnipeg. I've gotten involved with the JDC West competition for 2 years in a row now. And this is my 2nd year on BASA, last year being a director of finance, and this year being the vice president of finance.
Is this, since you're coming from Arborg, is the small community feel of University of Winnipeg has helped you transition from living from Arborg to the city? Oh,
hugely. My first couple of years, I pretty much had the typical university experience. I'd go to class, I'd go home. It wasn't until my 3rd year where I started getting really involved with the JDC West competition and BASA that I really started to build a network of friends in the business faculty. And now it's gotten to the point where you walk down the hallway, you run into people you know on a consistent basis. It's a great feeling, and it was that same feeling that I had walking through my hometown of Arborg.
It is. I hope everybody in the faculty has the same experience, but unfortunately not everybody does. When we walk inside the dealer center, we get to see friends. It's not like that first year feeling where I have no idea whoever this is.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, whenever I walk in dealer center, honestly, I probably know 3/4 of the building as soon as I walk in. As soon as a class ends, I just see at least 5 or 10 of my friends from either JC West or BASA or just other classes I've had.
And that's one of the biggest things though, is that this is something I encourage students to do all the time. Get involved in your school, even if it means volunteering, if it means joining different students associations. Do something, stick around school, start talking with some classmates, start hanging out with them, going for drinks after. That is the way you build your network, and that's the way you're going to make the most out of your university experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't grow up in Winnipeg, and it took me a while to find a core group of people that I really want to hang out with, I really like. And for me, that was JDC West, and then the year after that was BASA. And it just changes your approach of going to school. Before then, it was such a burden for me to go to school because like all I did was like go to class. But now like it's okay. Like maybe like I don't feel like going to class right now, but I know I'll see my friends, and that changes my outlook for like the university in such a huge way.
Oh yeah, and just even getting involved. Like I was just thinking about that the other day. Like so many employers look for people who take the extra step, you know, like go to extracurriculars or like have a job on the side. Like there's a lot of people I know who just are like, you know, I'm not going to have a job, I'm going to focus on school. And you should focus on school. But I mean, if you don't have a job, you don't join any student groups or anything like that. If you go to an employer, it's like, hey, I have a degree, I've done nothing else. Versus, you know, hey, I have a degree, I've joined all these student groups, I have a job on the side. I mean, it shows that, one, you can actually multitask. You can actually handle the work that he's actually going to give you. And, you know, it just shows that you're, like, a people person, that you actually want to meet people. You know, like, that's so valuable.
It's always a balancing act, mixing academics with extracurriculars. So, like, going back to David, since, like, you're the subject of our show today, tell us, like, did you start JDC West and BASA at the same year?
I did. I basically I was ending my second year of university, and I knew I had 2 years left to go, and I went in thinking one thing, is that I'm going to just say yes to any opportunity that comes my way. Best decision I've ever made. It was when I saw the...
yes man, right?
I guess you could say that. But yeah, so I saw the interview for BASA, Director of Finance. I had started volunteering with them throughout my second year. And that was when I really decided, you know, I'd like to be a part of this. I'd like to start making my mark on this faculty. And so I signed up for the interview for that. JDC West was a little bit of another difference, is that I had a couple friends that were interviewing for it as well, and I kind of interviewed out of mutual support for them, and ended up getting the position on the accounting team too, which I was really excited about. The call completely caught me off guard, as I didn't think that I would make the team.
For somebody who only joined the JDC West team as like a mutual support, you had a very successful run.
Oh yeah,
You and
Shane and Shu Ming were on your team. Yeah, you guys did very good. One of the best teams actually on our JC West here at that time.
Yeah, you know what? It's the hard work you put into it. You get a lot out of it. I'm noticing a change in how I work with my classes now, how I'm able to take the concepts that I've learned, because that's what you learn at university, the concepts. But with JDC West and like the case competition, you get to take all these methods and apply them into a certain instance. It really helps you.
Yeah, so after that year, after you finish your first year in JDC West in BASA, tell me your state of mind when you plan on like doing JDC West again and like stepping into a more leadership role inside the BASA.
Yeah, well, for JDC West, coming in 5th place that first year, it really motivated me that we were only 2 spots away from the podium, and I really wanted to see the students, this faculty grow, and really see our team in this competition grow. And so that's why I really wanted to get back into it again and really take what I learned from the last year and continue it on. In terms of BASA, that was a little bit of a different story. Because I was the only director of finance the last year, I was motivated to take on the vice president of finance position. It was probably one of the best decisions ever. Was I confident at first? No. Have I regretted it since then? No. Because I've really got to test my leadership skills. I learned from the outgoing vice president of finance, Matt Newtell, who is a mentor to me now. He actually works at PwC now, so he went on to do great things as well. And so with his leadership and kind of taking what I wanted to do with it and putting it on, I really decided to take on the role of VPF. And
you have the unique perspective of being the director of finance your first year in BASA and the VP of finance the next year. So if any of the prospective students are listening or watching right now, they're planning on joining BASA, especially in the finance team, what kind of advice can you give them on what they should expect when they actually get the position or when they go to the interviews?
Well, when you take on a director position in BASA, you you are on like the lower level of the organization chart, but
An
it
introductory
doesn't.
level.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. But and that's exactly the way to think about it. It's an introductory level. I started as director of finance, and that's where I learned how to take on the skills to go into the vice president of finance position. It's a lot of hard work. Meetings you can do as necessary. I find the meetings are really great though, because it really helps with team bonding, getting to know your fellow members too. It's something that really interested me. I know this year we even had a little barbecue this summer, and just doing that, you really get to relate to your team and see where you're going. So it's hard work.
Oh yeah, like I just want to mention, like although it's introductory level, you know, kind of like position in BASA, it's not easy by any means, especially the director of finance.
And you really get to see the inner workings of how a non-for-profit organization works, but more how an organization works too.
Also, BASA is very flat, so even though it's an entry level position, there's not much steps towards like the top position, which like probably like president or vice president. You know.
No, it's like director, then there's executive, and then it's pretty much senior executive. And then I guess president, but I mean that's pretty much a senior executive position.
Like even like you're not busy all the time with BASA, but even when you're not busy with events, it's getting people, it's promoting the brand, it's promoting BASA as a students organization to your fellow students, colleagues, and getting them to come to the events too. So even when you may not be working, you're always working, just indirectly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Exactly.
And I think that's what every team is looking for, just looking for the people who have that passion and that connection with BASA too. That's a huge thing to look for.
When you were recruiting your directors of finance last year, what attributes were you looking for? Like when you were looking at their resume, when they were answering questions in the interview? It doesn't have to be specific stories. Just tell us like.
Were all the senior executives in the interview, or was it just you?
Actually, I didn't have an interview for my position.
Okay.
I was the only applicant for the director of
Yeah.
finance position. And the year that I applied was the first year that they actually had a director of finance. And so I was really excited when I got the email letting me know that I was on the team. And so that was kind of my process.
Yes than no.
Yeah. The attributes they're looking for, though, like, just because I didn't have an interview, though, it doesn't mean that they couldn't have kicked me out a long time ago either. Because they saw that I had that passion for BASA and saw that I had that passion for bettering my students' association and my business faculty. And I had that passion for academic learning and teamwork. I got along with others well. And so I think those are really key attributes that people look for, too.
For sure.
Yeah. Now that this is your last year in university, you're graduating, and like after this semester, how has BASA helped you grow as like not just as a student, but as like a future member of the business community here in Canada?
Well, I think one of the best things that BASA's ever done for me is building my networking skills. As people know, BASA holds a lot of events where we put students in touch with the corporate sponsors through events like Meet the Partners, through events like Networking Day, Gala, Get a Job Conference.
Yeah, which is coming up pretty soon, actually.
Exactly.
Very soon.
This week.
Yeah.
This Thursday.
It's going to be exciting.
So yeah, it was getting to know those people and just putting yourself in that situation where you should go talk to these employers, because they want to meet you just as much as you want to meet them. It's really building those skills, those networking skills, that really go.
Yeah, you know, and like it's that time of the year too where a lot of summer positions are open, you know, and like they're not going to be open forever, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Winnipeg government jobs that are only being open till like the 23rd or 24th or something like that. So like this week, you know, like February is a really big, you know, like month to apply.
Every time I talk about BASA, especially during like classroom presentations, I always tell them that one of the main reasons why we're here is that to give our students some fighting edge over other business students, especially if you get involved, especially if you join our programs inside the faculty. It really puts you in a different level, because like everybody has a degree, everybody's hopefully doing relatively well in school.
And that's the biggest thing too. You're competing with hundreds of other business students, not only at the University of Winnipeg, but we also have a university that's very close to us, and that's the Asper School of Business. And you got to find some way to sell yourself beyond those people. What is going to set you apart from the other students in your group? Because we're all applying for the same jobs. And I'll actually be starting at Deloitte in September, and that's one of my, I think, what gave me a large edge going into this was that my involvement in the Students Association and competitions like JDC West.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you always have to separate yourself apart, right? I mean, let's be honest, everyone's a hard worker. Everyone's, has time management skills. Like, I'm pretty sure those are two things that are on everyone's resume.
I hate it when I see it in somebody's resume.
You're hard work.
That should be a thing.
I know, yeah. Like, there's so many things people just repeat, and, like, I could just imagine a recruiter just, like, glazing over that. It's like, oh, I bet you're a hard worker. Yeah. Oh, I bet, like, you have good time management skills. Right. But, like, if you actually have something on your resume that shows, like, you took the extra step to do something, like joining, like joining BASA, right? Going back to that, right? Or joining JC West, or even joining, like, UWIG, which is a new business group, or, like, even FISA, or any student group, right? It doesn't matter. Like, really, you gotta, like, take that step. And sometimes it's so, like, aggravating to see someone's like, no, I'm just gonna wait till the end of my degree.
No. Well, thank you for coming down today.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Before we go, we're going to do some housekeeping. There's a couple of events coming up for that's BASA's hosting.
Yeah, we did a little. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but yeah, Get a Job, that's happening Thursday. We have a schedule with that finally. 11:30 a.m. We're having a seminar with Lisa Marie. She is a career advisor at the University of Winnipeg. I mean, if you're in business, you ever ask for an advisor, chances are you talk to her at least once. She's going to talk about things like resume editing, what corporate recruiters look for, things to have on your resume, the ways to discuss what's on your resume, and just how to conduct yourself in an interview, And once you learn how to, conduct yourself in an interview, talk to people, things like that, there'll be a speed interviews, which is the main.
I think that would be very helpful, especially since if you don't have any experience in conducting, being a part of a professional interview, it takes a while to get a feel on like what kind of interview you'll be. Like it took me forever to find like the confidence to be. Oh, exactly. Just like. On that edge of like a little cocky, but a little.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I've done so many interviews just for jobs, and like I just enjoy interviews. Like last summer, I applied for like at least 10 or 12 places, had 5 or 6 interviews. I actually look forward to going to seeing what they're all about. Because every corporate culture is different, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, and I just have blast actually.
I always treat it like a date where every time there's a silence, I would just like barrage answer people with questions.
Yeah, a date with Destiny. Yeah. It's like, oh hey, how's it going? It's like, so I hear you're a hard worker. No, but yeah, back to the topic. Speed interviews 1 to 3. That'll be a couple hours, and you'll have the option of having a professional headshot. Something to put on your resume or your LinkedIn account. I mean, it's better than a selfie, am I right?
Yeah. So if you want to take a headshot, I'll be there. I'll be taking photos of everybody if they want to, and then we'll send it to everybody after we finish editing it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it looked nice,
So wear something nice, at least like on top. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because it's gonna be headshots. So
wear pants too. Pants are good.
I think
add minimum pants.
Add minimum pants. Yeah.
If nothing else.
Okay, everybody. So this has been the BASA SHOUTcast, episode number 2. Thank you for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel. We post this video podcast every Thursday. Next week we might be a little early because we're going to Roundtable, which is a business school conference. We'll tell you all about it after we come back.
Oh, yeah. We'll tell you how it went. Actually, no, that'll be probably the 4th or 5th episode. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, it's probably like the 4th.
Fourth guys, stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening, and hope you have a good day.
Cool.
Thank you.